Good morning everyone! Have you ever dreamt that you had the power of a god, able to bend the world to your whim and do whatever you wanted? Now how about you were offered that power, only the god was insane and the power was wildly unpredictable? Would you still take it? That's basically what we'll be talking about today. It's the Wabbajack from the Elder Scrolls. The Wabbajack itself is a relatively regular, if slightly unusual looking magical staff that has taken several appearances over the course of history, but most commonly occurs with the image of a face bearing a highly distended jaw at its top. Unlike virtually every other staff within Tamriel, the Wabbajack does not have a singular function, rather it's able to cast a wide array of spells from the different schools of magicka, with the most immediate catch being that its user is unable to control which spell is cast. A more long-term and much more severe catch is that prolonged use of a staff usually results in the wielder's descent into madness. An item that has long been known to certain individuals within Tamriel, the Wabbajack is a staff that was originally created by the Daedric Prince of Madness, Sheogorath, and is something that seems to be intrinsically bound to the Prince of Oblivion, as it apparently directly reflects his own unpredictable psyche. This is illustrated by the fact that they are both known to interchangeably help, hinder, or simply, for the lack of a better word, troll those that they're interacting with. Among the wide variety of spells the staff is able to cast are elemental destruction spells such as Fireball and Thunderbolt, restoration spells which can either heal the user or the target, and alteration spells which primarily lead to an opponent being transformed into any number of different creatures, some passive, some extremely dangerous. Further to these effects, the staff also has a chance at immediately killing an opponent through disintegration or otherwise, or simply doing absolutely nothing at all. Other more unusual spells cast by the Wabbajack result in an opponent exploding into golden pitchforks, being transformed into cheese of all things, and the summoning of a Dramora from the Oblivion Plains. Because of its unpredictable nature and what seems to be a creative streak, the Wabbajack may be able to do just about anything depending on its current whim. This level of unpredictability and randomness suggests that the staff may have some level of conscious decision-making ability, and even, to an extent, a mood. To further add proof to this hypothesis, there is the fact that, in some instances, the spell cast by the Wabbajack can actually be predicted with 100% certainty. This usually occurs when facing a foe of great power, for example a dragon, when the staff will always produce a damaging explosion. This could indicate that the staff perceives the threat it's being used against and is taking actions in order to protect itself. Due to the evidence at hand, it has even been suggested that the staff not only represents the power and will of Sheogorath, but is, at least in part, a manifestation of the Daedric Prince himself, a way almost to escape his plane of oblivion and interact with the mortal world. This is supported somewhat by the way in which he associates with mortals and the significance of the Wabbajack in their interactions. To understand this significance, a tome relatively common throughout Tamriel must be referenced. The book, also named Wabbajack, details how the author, believed to be the recently crowned Emperor Pelagius Septim III, summoned Sheogorath in search of knowledge to use in his new post, thinking him to be a completely different Daedric prince, Hermaeus Mora. Instead, he receives the titular staff, and subsequently went completely mad, a common occurrence for seemingly all who utilise the staff for a prolonged period. The importance of this book is that it illustrates that Sheogorath may use the staff as a form of conduit to seep into the mind of those using it, eventually taking over their physical form completely. Theories suggest that this is exactly what happened to the hero of Kvatch, an integral figure in bringing the Oblivion Crisis to an end. It has been noted that the hero's last known quest involved the Shivering Isles, Sheogorath's plane of Oblivion, and that the Daedric Prince has intimate knowledge of the Oblivion Crisis when encountered during the period of Alduin's return, and even alludes to being the hero. If true, then it is likely that Sheogorath intermittently seeks out new hosts to possess, possibly when his existing body grows old or frail, and gives them the Wabbajack so that his consciousness may be transferred through the staff to infest the mind of the new host. This all suggests that the Daedric Prince is not really an entity in the traditional sense at all, but more of an idea, a psychosis that permeates into the mortal world through specific individuals, so that it may go on to influence and toy with men and mer alike, with the Wabbajack acting as his primary conduit. While appearing as something of a novelty item, and all but useless in a real-world scenario, in truth the Wabbajack is an extremely powerful staff, not only able to accomplish feats most schools of magicka are unable or unwilling to, but conduct them with little to no effort. Added to this is the fact that it takes a serious toll on the user's psyche, and may very well be a conduit for a Daedric Prince to invade their mind. All this taken into account, there is no question that the Wabbajack must be assigned an artifact rating of extraordinary. To be honest, I'm not even sure this rating is sufficient to detail the enormity of the potential power the staff holds. I mean, without it, how could we possibly know that cats can be bats, can be rats, can be hats, can be gnats, can be vats, can be visses? Wabbajack, 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 Wabbajack. Don't forget to subscribe for more course content, become a Patreon or channel member to support the course, and please don't go summoning any Daedric princes lest you go completely mad. Wabbajack, Wabbajack, Wabbajack.